If you have to lie about your position, it's a good indication that you don't actually believe what you're saying and that you are, in fact, just trying to lie to people. The consequence of that is if you say anything else, even if it is credible, you have already lost your credibility because you've already been exposed as being a liar. And with that out of the way, let's have a look at Helen Whately. Uh, I'll tell you what, I'll let Helen get on with her spiel first, and then I'll correct the record.
Polygamy is illegal here in the UK. But if you've married 4 wives overseas and then moved here, you could be claiming up to £78,000 in benefits paid for by the British taxpayer. That is absurd and totally wrong. We've already said we will stop giving benefits to foreign citizens. Today, we're announcing we will put a stop to benefits for multiple spouses. Our welfare system cannot be a cash machine for the world, and it should not be supporting polygamous relationships.
I would like to highlight the fact that there are no comments on this video because she's turned the comments off. Probably because she's lying through her teeth here. Polygamy is in fact illegal in the UK, but it is not the case that someone could marry multiple wives overseas and then just bring them to the UK. You have a spousal visa, but that'll only be issued to one of said wives. Under UK law, only one of them is going to be recognised as the spouse. That's it. It really is that simple. So when Helen Wheatley is saying that the Conservatives would stop this amazing claim here of one husband and 4 wives claiming £78,000 off the state, she is lying. In some hypothetical world, maybe there is a universe where that's happening, but that's like me saying I could totally have played for the NBA if I was only, 7 foot tall and properly athletic. As it turns out, I'm neither of those things. And just like that claim, this woman here is talking absolute bollocks. But it's not the first time that she's lied about the claimant system. And to be clear here, she is the shadow state for the DWP. If the Conservatives were in charge right now, she would be in charge of the DWP. And she's spending her time lying to you, making up scenarios where someone might possibly be claiming, but under UK law, they already are not able to get those benefits. But this isn't the only time that she lies about these things.
So we identified that from stopping benefits to sickness benefits and universal credit to foreign nationals, we could save around £7 billion. That was based on the foreign nationals who have, for instance, limited leave and indefinite leave to remain. So as we said before, not assuming that we'll get some brilliant renegotiation with the...
Let's keep in mind what she's just said there. So there are foreign nationals who have indefinite leave to remain. So these people are in this country. We have said you have the right to stay here for the rest of your life, and they're not entitled to claim any benefits. Yet she doesn't go into what those benefits are. Quite often it's working tax credits. And a lot of the arguments that are built on this argument come from one particular study, which, if we're nice, misrepresented what the figures were. This is something that Nigel Farage has spread across far and wide, and so too has Rupert Lowe, which is basically there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of foreigners claiming benefits, but what the actual data showed is that there are households where a non-UK national is residing and benefits are being claimed, not that the non-UK national is claiming those benefits. So if Nigel Farage was still with the mother of his children, his household would count under that statistic because the mother is German. Now, it's not necessarily correct to say that it's a growing narrative because the narrative has always been there where the Conservatives and to an extent Labour have had the mentality of if you can't work, we will punish you as much as we can so that you force yourself back into work, even if you're not fit to be there. What I do find amazing, though, is that none of these right wing parties ever talk about tax avoidance and evasion. After all, we can see right here According to the latest figures from HMRC, deliberate tax evasion costs the UK approximately £7.1 billion annually, while tax avoidance accounts for about 0.8 billion. Tax evasion is illegal, tax avoidance is legal. For example, Nigel Farage gets his payment from GBBs paid not directly to him, but to a private offshore company. And that's when he then takes his share. That's tax avoidance. It's legal, it's scummy, and it does cost this country quite a lot of tax revenue. Tax evasion could be perhaps a certain individual from Reform UK whose surname rhymes with rice, setting up numerous shell companies in order to stop the taxman from being able to find exactly where the money is coming from. But hey, that is an ongoing investigation, and let's not. Let's not. But this is not even talking about corporate tax. So while we punish the poorest of society, trying to blame them for all the problems that this country has, it's something that just doesn't hold up when you look at the raw data. It used to be that the right wing were just attacking asylum seekers, but now asylum seekers coming to this country has dropped by over 40%. The right wing have now gone back to their standard play of attacking people on disabilities, pretending that people can work when in reality they really can't, trying to attack people who claim PEP, but not understanding that PIP not only is not an out of work benefit, but they're also lying about what would qualify for PIP. Jeremy Kyle, I recently did a video where he said that you could claim PIP if you had tennis elbow. That is an outright lie. And again, Jeremy Kyle was someone whose lies forced an individual to take themselves off the board. He's now lying about people who claim benefits. And when someone confronts him with the actual facts and the actual figures, he comes out with, let's agree to disagree. There is no agree to disagree. Jeremy Kyle is lying about people who claim PIP, which again is not an out of work benefit. He's also lying about how easy it is to get PIP. It is not an easy process. And for everyone out there who's screaming that it's so easy, I say the same thing every single time. You try. First thing in the morning, apply for PIP. It's not just a one and done thing either. You will have regular routine assessments to see if you are still deserving of PIP. And for some people in my comment section on TikTok, this has gone as far as them explaining to the DWP assessor that no, their limbs have not grown back overnight and they do still require the additional income. So, anyone on the left or right wing of politics who is so focused on the finances but doesn't talk about tax evasion and tax avoidance and would rather punish people back into work, they do not have your best interests at heart.